Imagine that you've dedicated your entire life to master some crafts. It can be arts, it can be being able to play some game really good, like League of Legends, for example. I wish. And then one day you achieve it, you become the greatest in the world, and then nobody can defeat you, and you become really confident in your success. But one day, a funny British man comes to you with a laptop and suggests to play the hardest game of your life. Well, that's basically the summary of the movie AlphaGo, about how a world champion of Go, Lee Sedol, sorry if I mispronounce his name, had to play the game of Go against the algorithm developed by the British company DeepMind, which is called AlphaGo. Here's the name of the movie, AlphaGo. And if you expect to learn how to play the game of Go by watching that movie, well, I still did not get it. But the main idea is that you've got your field, which is filled with squares, and then each person takes turns putting pieces on edges of the squares, and then in the end of the game, you count the amount of territory which was conquered by each player, and the player who conquers the most territory wins. What's really interesting about that movie is that, yeah, you don't get to learn a lot about the game of Go or the technical aspects about how this algorithm was realized. The main thing about AlphaGo was that it was kind of learning based on how other players played, but then it also played millions, if not billions, of matches against itself, and that's how it started coming up with strategies which no other person has ever used in the game. And so you will get to see the emotions of people watching how AlphaGo actually defeats Lee Sedol in matches. In the beginning, he was extremely confident that he would win every single match out of 5. But then once the game starts, he loses the first match. And he looks devastated in the movie. And then the next day comes and he loses again. And then on the third day, he loses again. And that was tough, man. That is really tough. Especially because you see that his wife and his daughter came to watch his game. I cannot even imagine how hard it was for him to lose several matches in a row after becoming the world champion of Go. But then in the fourth match, he actually wins by using the God move. A move which was so unexpected that there was a 1 in 15,000 probability chance that he would play it against the AlphaGo. And because it was so unexpected, he actually confused the algorithm and eventually defeated it. He looked surprised in the end when he actually won. And then in the fifth game, he loses again. But in the end, he says, it was enough. And you know what? That's kind of inspiring to me. That even when you go against an almighty machine which possesses non-human intelligence in this game, and you manage to defeat it once after spending sleepless nights thinking about how to play against it, you understand that it's enough. But at the time of filming this movie, and I think it's still the case, that Lee Sedol stays the only person who was able to defeat AlphaGo, which definitely says something. I recommend you watch this movie just to see people's emotions in that, and especially Lee Sedol. He is basically the main character of this movie. There's such a stark contrast between a human and a machine there. And in the end, there's also an important lesson here. You might become really good at something and dedicate your entire life to it, but it doesn't mean that at some point you won't get defeated by someone else, even by the algorithm. And considering how artificial intelligence becomes more and more present in our everyday lives, maybe a lot of us will have to face similar feelings which Lee Sedol had to face during this match with AlphaGo. So I recommend you watch this movie. Bye.